I'm Janella Massa outside CW Jefferys Collegiate Institute in North York, where tonight we're learning more about what may have happened to 15-year-old Jeremiah Perry, who drowned while on a field trip to Algonquin Park. Tonight, a student tells us he and Jeremiah went into the lake to wash off after returning from a canoe excursion, and that's when he suddenly lost sight of his classmate.
He was running to water, and he went inside of water, and I was swimming, and something pulled me down. Okay, something touched my, something pulled my before my left leg and after right leg. I was looking around, and there's no Jeremiah. Where's Jeremiah? And I thought, where's Jeremiah? And Miss told, yeah, where's Jeremiah?
Now, Balsi says Jeremiah wasn't wearing a life jacket, but there was a lifeguard nearby. Yesterday, the TDSB told us students from CW Jefferys had to pass a swimming test at the school's pool before being allowed to go on the trip. But today, amid reports that some of the kids didn't know how to swim, the school's principal would only say that officials are still trying to gather all the information about the tragedy. He added that proper permissions were obtained from students' families.
That, student will go on a field trip that is properly permitted and all that stuff. So that Jeremiah went on this field trip we wouldn't have taken him if we did not have permission for him to go. But again, we don't want to get into that kind of conversation here today. I know, and again, we are looking for answers. I get that, but this matter is an active investigation. Everybody is sad about this, and for me, actually, I think that is where the focus for this should be.
Now, still ahead, we'll speak with the Red Cross about how even if those swimming lessons were procured, that even those who are experienced swimmers could get into trouble in open waters. We'll also talk about some of the danger signs that parents and those supervising others in the water should look for when they're looking for people with signs of distress while swimming. We're outside CW Jefferys, where later this evening the last group of students will be returning from Algonquin Park, where a trip turned to tragedy yesterday. The body of 15-year-old Jeremiah Perry was pulled from the waters. He drowned after going into the water for a swim with one of his classmates after returning from a canoe trip. Now, the big question today is whether students on the trip were properly tested on their swimming abilities. Jeremiah's classmate says he did pass a swim test, and there was a lifeguard on duty at the time he went missing, but he wasn't wearing a life jacket. And the Red Cross says even if the swim test protocols were followed, sometimes even confident swimmers can struggle in open water.
Swimming in the pool is considered a controlled environment. You don't have a lot of currents or movement of the water, and often you can see the bottom very clearly. So it makes a big difference being in a pool situation. You have an area where it's defined, this is the shallow area, or this is the area that's a little bit deeper. In a waterfront or open water body of water, you don't know what the depths are necessarily. You could have a very sudden drop off, and there could be a severe current or even a cold water current that's running underneath that can bring someone out further into the water. So there are many things that can take place.
The school's swim test is based on the Ontario Physical Education Safety Guidelines. The requirements include being able to swim 50 meters and to tread water for a minute. The Red Cross says parents and those supervising kids in the water this summer should know what signs of distress to look for.
Typically, we think of that Hollywood image where someone is struggling at the surface of the water and there's flailing arms and calling for help, and that's just not the case. They're using all their energy to try and get themselves up to the surface of the water, and majority of the time they're going to be directly right under the surface of the water and moving deeper under that water to try and help themselves. They just don't have it. It's panic, and it's very a scary situation. What they want to look for is they want to be constantly doing head counts. The within arm's reach or the buddy system is extremely important, having those checkpoints and being able to supervise the children within a certain location. So creating barriers where the children can swim out to or family members can swim out to, and having the rescue equipment ready should a situation arise.
Now, the Red Cross says it only takes seconds for a drowning to happen, and they recommend that everyone, no matter what level of swimming experience they have, wear life jackets when they swim in open water like lakes and rivers.